Good evening. I am sitting in my house about almost 1 year to the day from the time I made one of my very first vlogs about dealing with mental health issues with a close family member, well, my daughter. I have an adult daughter and she struggles with several diagnoses, and my thought is I'd like to help others that go through the same struggles, parents or loved ones that are dealing with the same types of struggles with their loved ones who have mental health issues, because it's something nobody really wants to talk about, but I think it's something people need to hear. And I always go back to my daughter's first real hospitalization, and I started doing some research on mental illness and psychosis, to be exact, and how to deal with it and what to expect. And honestly, even searching the internet, I couldn't find much. There might be a lot more now, but several years ago, well, I guess it was 6 years ago, when this first started, I couldn't find a lot about it. And I really could have used hearing somebody else's story. And I did buy some books that did talk about their story, and I found that to be very helpful. And so that's kind of what I'd like to do. So for about a year now, I have been vlogging, and it started out every few days that I'd do it. And now I've been doing it pretty much every day. And not only is it therapeutic for me, but I feel like I'm talking to a group of people that know me and know who I am, because I'm you. I'm going through the same struggles that you're probably going through. And I felt really alone, and like nobody else understands, but I know other people do. I hear more and more people who are dealing with this. And on the Facebook group that I'm in, people are struggling with this all the time. And I feel compelled to share my story, and I hope that it would help other people, because I just can't believe that all of the struggle that we go through is for nothing. And I have to do something positive with it. I can't just feel sorry for myself all the time. I have got to try to put it out there to help other people, but I'm very resistant to do it because I know my daughter would be upset, because she's still not she's not doing well. I'd like to believe that when she is doing well, and I know that will happen someday, that she will agree with this in helping others. So that's why I kind of want to stick to just showing it to other parents. I don't really want to put it out there for everybody, for her friends or anything like that to see. I really just want to keep it limited, and I got to figure out how to do that. I've tried to, I don't say her names in the videos. When I first started to make the videos, I did use her name, but since then, when I would edit them, I took the name out. And I find it kind of fun to just edit videos, make videos. So it helps me, honestly. It's a little therapeutic for me, but the whole point of putting it out there would be as if it's therapeutic for you and if it would help you. So I kind of want to give you the heads up a little bit about what I talk about in these videos. And it's basically the day-to-day struggles of what we've gone through. So I have a daughter who lives in a group home with other people who have the same struggles. She's in the hospital right now. So there's been a lot of ups and downs. There's been great times and there's been some difficult times, and I have shared that. And I don't know, maybe it will help some of you, because I have really learned to train myself to see the positive and to stay positive through it. And maybe me sharing how I do it would help you. So just, I don't know, if you could just let me know if it would be helpful. I am very nervous about putting this out there, so I'd appreciate if you didn't put negative. I mean, I don't mind critiques, of course, but I'm not putting it out there for that. I'm putting it out there to see how many people this would help. So if you think it would be helpful, let me know. And if not, then that's okay. Obviously you don't have to watch it, but I'm not going to put it out there if it's not going to be helpful for people. And so let me give you an example of what I'm putting out there, because I talk a bit about God. I talk about a book that I read, which is A Course in Miracles. I try very hard not to be preachy about it. I talk about trusting the universe a lot. Some people might see it as using toxic positivity to get through things, but for me, that type of thing is what helps me to see beyond this realm and to see that there's other ways of looking at things. I do believe we're all connected. I do believe we create our own stories, and I do believe that I beat myself up a lot because I'm afraid that I've created her story, and her story is right now living in hell, and my story is not far behind. So just trying to work through that and how I work through that. I do want to also talk a little bit about self-medication and her self-medication of choice. And I don't know if we can say it on YouTube, but it's Mary J. So I do say that in my videos, whatever, that's the case. I want to make it very clear, I am not anti that. I think that particular self-medication helps a lot of people. I personally, it doesn't do anything for me, but it helps a lot of people. So I'm all for that. But I want it to be out there that it hurts some people. Some people cannot do that because it definitely triggers psychosis. And talking to psychiatrists, several of them, they are seeing it more and more with kids, adults close to my daughter's age and younger that are using that to self-medicate, and they are being hospitalized as a result because now with vape pens, and they do dabs, it's not like, yeah, let's go smoke a joint and relax. They overdo it, right? And all their friends are doing it. I mean, let's face it, kids aren't drinking wine coolers anymore. This is where it's at. And I get it. At that age, I'd be doing the same thing, I guarantee it. But you'd think if that got you into the hospital every time you overdid it, you might learn it's not a good idea. But my daughter hasn't learned that yet. And I bet a lot of you out there have the same struggle because from what the doctors say, it is quite common. And from what I've read on the Facebook chain, that a lot of kids are doing that. I say kids a lot. I mean adult, but it's my kid. She's always going to be my kid. She's like a child to me. I still see that little baby face. So I say kids, but an adult. And I think it is a very big problem. And I'm hoping that she will eventually figure it out. And I'm hoping she will help others in that same scenario because she could live a decent life and if she would give that up. That is what causes the psychosis. We have mania, we have not a whole lot of depression, but it's cannabis-induced psychosis is what it is actually written as a diagnosis. And I guarantee that there's a lot of people out there that are struggling with that. Unfortunately, not everybody can use that to self-medicate. And so I don't ever suggest getting rid of it. What I suggest is the people that cannot do it, look at it as, hey, like an allergy, like I can't do this. It's like diabetics. They can't have a lot of sugar. Well, some of these kids and adults need to realize that they can't have this. So that's where I'm at. It causes a huge rift between my daughter and me. A huge rift. And you'll see that in the videos if I do decide to share them. I have learned to deal with this. We had a really good Thanksgiving. We had some big plans for Christmas and it doesn't look like that's gonna happen. So I'm just telling you that so that you know I'm not speaking in a great place right now, but I have learned how to deal with the hospitals, what to expect if your kid is showing some signs of this. How does it all start and where does it all end, or will it ever end, and how do we take care of ourselves? Because what I have really learned is I can either curl up in a ball and end up where she's at, or I can stay strong and I can lift her up every time she falls, and I will be there every time, and it's a lot, but I'll never give up, and I just want to motivate others to do the same. So thank you for listening, and I wish you all happy holidays, and yeah, we'll be in touch. I really appreciate it. And this time of year is tough on everyone, especially being that it's 2020 and a lot of us can't be with family or friends. So it's been an extremely difficult year. And then to top it all off, if you have a child or loved one that suffers with mental illness, that certainly adds to the stress. And my daughter in particular, who had a manic episode this time of year, a couple years ago, got lost in the woods. It was an awful, awful situation. So I think it's a difficult time. I know it's a difficult time for her, and it's a difficult time for me and anyone else who was involved with that. But that being said, she is back she's still at the residential home. She's doing okay. She's taking her medication. She's doing everything they've told her she had to do to come back there. So I'm very happy about that, very excited. And this is going to be our first year not spending it at my mother's house with family because of COVID. And then with her living in a residential program, they are only allowed to come home for Christmas. She's going to come home Christmas morning, but I have to bring her back Christmas evening. And that's going to be a little weird because we've always spent Christmas Eve, Christmas. I mean, we've always done the traditional spending it together. So this is certainly going to be something new, but I'm hoping it's going to be something positive. I haven't checked in. No news is usually good news. She and I are getting along okay. I still annoy her quite a bit with some of the things that I say, such as her dyeing her hair blue and then bleaching it, and she doesn't want to hear that that's not healthy. Typical things between a mother and a 20-year-old daughter. So all of that's typical. It's put me in an amazing mood because I just love having my daughter back. I love being able to talk to her, even if it's through video. And it's going to feel so good to give her a great big hug in 2 days. I probably went overboard with gifts because it is just going to be us. But I have high hopes. I am envisioning a very good Christmas with her. I envision a lot of laughs, and I got her some treats, and I really am going to make the best of it. I think we're going to get Chinese food, which she really likes. So I will keep you guys updated, but I'm really, really keeping positive, and I continue to imagine only the best, and I continue to see her as healthy. I'm seeing the past as the past, and I'm trying to keep fear out of this situation. And ever since I've been thinking positively, I feel like we've been on a good trend here, and that's what I wanted to share with all of you. So I'm foreseeing a beautiful Christmas with my daughter, full of love and laughter, and I will, of course, update all of you on how that goes. And I hope everybody has an amazing holiday. I love you all.